All right, welcome back for another episode of Just Your Average Guy. This is John McDowell. I want to take this opportunity to kind of show you guys what it means to get out of your comfort zone, to take risks. This mentality I've taken into every aspect of my life, right? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, absolutely love it. It took me years to achieve the black belt. I got my black belt under Marcio La Silva and Roberto Tazzi, well-respected jiu-jitsu practitioners. Amazing guys. Marcio has been a huge influence on my life. Man, just an amazing guy. And so in this clip, it's from the Sunflower State Games, as you can see, 7/25/2015, 5.5 years ago. About that. In Topeka, Kansas. This is me versus a professional MMA guy. I was a brown belt at the time. He is 300 and some odd pounds. At this point, I want to say I was like 145. And so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, constantly training, constantly getting out of your comfort zone. The beauty of Jiu-Jitsu is I'm a small guy, right? I'm probably 5'6". If people ask me, I say I'm like 5'8", right? My wife is 5'11", and so I constantly, I'll say 5'8", she's like 5'6", right? And so, but I'm a pretty small guy. And so, but Jiu-Jitsu, the beauty of it is it offers opportunity for the smaller person to defend themselves against much larger people. And so especially, at the beginning levels, it offers the opportunity to defend yourself against bigger, faster, stronger opponents, right? And so Jiu-Jitsu I fell in love with it when I was training MMA. And I would study, and I still study Jiu-Jitsu, and I love it. It's a lifestyle. I get an opportunity to teach, right? Invest in other people's lives, build up their confidence through the art of Jiu-Jitsu. And so this is, in my mind, that just to make sure I throw this out there, the man that I compete against was absolutely amazing, amazing person. It's just like any other scenario, right? When you end up competing, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. In this set of circumstances, right, this guy would probably beat me 9 times out of 10. It's just this one time, I was a little bit more craftier than he was, right? And so he made a mistake. I was able to capitalize on it. In my mind, that's how I approach jiu-jitsu all the time, right? I try to keep an adaptable mindset. But knowing that, in fact, Marcio, what's funny about this, when I told Marcio I was going to do the absolute division, he said, no, you crazy, man. You crazy, right? Because he's Brazilian. He's got that accent. You crazy. You gonna die. You die. You gonna get biggest guy. You die. I'm like, dang, man, like that's not exactly the words of encouragement you want from your coach right before you're about to go jump into the absolute. But, it is what it is. Me and him have a unique relationship. And so, and he wasn't wrong. I ended up drawing the biggest dude on the mats that day. And so let's watch, and I'll kind of give you my mindset that I had in the midst of this match. I don't know if you'll get sound or not. I'm not 100% sure. So he trips. Boom. Pull around for the armbar.
That's what's up. Good job, John.
I don't even know what happened.
It was kind of fast, although this is kind of a clip. I think they do a slow-mo. Okay, so let's look back here at what happens. He goes, I knew the moment that he grabbed me, I was in trouble, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking of the various counters. The Gracie's Helio has a really awesome book out, and there's also some videos on it about just traditional self-defense and things like that. This is truly the application behind your traditional jiu-jitsu, right? The individual throws you, and he overcompensated, maintained control of my gi, and so, which means his arm is extended, right? So to get an arm bar and hyperextend the elbow, I want the other party to extend their arm because they're weaker there, and I can wrap my whole body around that arm. And so if you notice, he never lets go off the throw. So there's the trip, there's the throw. He's still holding on, right? And at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's an armbar. Now the reality is, I mean, you know what? He probably could have slammed me. I don't know. I mean, I think I spun around fast enough for him to be like, oh man. And he knew, right? He's got the same experience level. We're both brown belts. And so he's hip to the mistake that he made, right? Goes around, locks it in, and I extend. I'm hyperextending the arm. And he taps. And so, again, smaller guy going against the bigger guy. That gentleman he literally just made a mistake. That's the beauty and art of jiu-jitsu. The other piece is, man, I trained for this competition, right? And so this was an awesome experience. That, overcoming a set of circumstances where the individual is bigger, stronger, faster. Maybe not faster because he's bigger, but bigger, stronger, right? And so, in all reality, based on putting me and him side to side, he should have won, right? That's how I'm sure the world probably sees it. But that's not always the case with jiu-jitsu. There's always opportunity there to capitalize on somebody else's mistake. And anybody is dangerous when it comes to submissions and it comes to jiu-jitsu. And so, anyways, I take a lot of what I learn on the mats and I apply it to life, right? And so my style is more risky than others, I'm sure. However, that's a lot like how I live life, right? I don't let, like in this set of circumstances, the guy's bigger and stronger. That didn't, I'm not saying I wasn't nervous, right? I was nervous. The dude's flipping big, right? But in my mind, I've only ever seen those as factors, and I don't look at those as dictating factors of whether or not I should lose a match. I don't look at the PMP when I took it, the fact that, only 50% of the people who take it on their first time even pass, and then those people tend to have taken some type of class or something in preparation. So my ability to pass that exam went even lower because I decided to self-study, right, and adhere to my own plan. So that didn't make me shy away from, right, going out and pursuing the PMP. And it's been that way my whole life, right? So being a high school dropout, an ex-drug addict, an ex-criminal, right, all these different things, that didn't stop me from going and getting a GED, from getting my A+ certification, for getting my bachelor's degree in psychology, for trying to get into the IT field, for, accepting the IT director, the CIO position, for becoming a vice president, right, and becoming a leader and managing people, opening my own gym, right, so that I can invest in people and help them learn and teach jiu-jitsu, for going out and sharing my testimony at churches, right? None of these things stopped me just because they were out of my comfort zone or they seemed unachievable, right? I didn't stop. I didn't stop. And again, those situations are only factors. All of those shortcomings that I had once upon a time in my life, I've worked to improve myself, right? The other pieces, they're in my rear view. They're not at the forefront of my mind, right? They're in the back. I don't let them get so far away that I forget where I came from, because I draw strength off of where I came from. I know some of the things that I've overcome, right? And so it encourages me to push a little bit harder, to set the standard a little bit higher, right? And continue to reach for more and more and more. And I encourage everybody around me. I encourage my kids. I encourage my wife. Anybody and everybody who ends up around me knows that I'm pushing them to try to be their very best version of themselves. That's it. That's what John McDowell brings to the table. And I won't just be preaching about it. I'll be doing it. Be doing it. If they talk about how hard they work, I will work harder. It is what it is, right? You're hard pressed to overwork me, to overstudy me, right? To outdo me in those areas, man. I may not have all the talent in the world, but man, I work. I put in work. It is what it is, right? And this guy is only ever trying to make moves. And so I shared my 5-step plan, right? I live by that. I encourage my students, right? I encourage my employees that work for me, right? My kids, everybody, friends, family, it doesn't matter who it is. I'm only ever, they probably get tired of talking to me sometimes, because I'm going to, if they come to me, and they're struggling with this, that, or the other, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing that? If they don't like where they're at in life, I encourage them to look at where they want to go and then go after it, right? And so that's my mentality. It's evident, right, in a set of circumstances like this where I was nervous. There's several factors working against me, but that didn't keep me from stepping out there, taking a risk, and eventually overcoming those set of circumstances and those factors. And so today, I encourage you, do the same thing. Do the same thing. Never settle for second best when it comes to your life. Only ever push the envelope in everything that you do. Work to become the very best version of yourself. I've not arrived. I'm not saying I've arrived. Nothing like that. But I will say that I am a hell of a lot better than I ever was 20 years ago. Guaranteed. That I do know, and I can speak to. And anybody who knows me from back then to now knows I'm a better version of myself. And I'm going to continue to grow and invest and improve myself and be a better person. And so that being said, I encourage you to do the same thing, right? I'll continue to put out these videos, continue to keep it real with you, let you know where I came from, the steps I took, the mentality I've had, getting to where I am today, and encourage you to just push the envelope, man. Get out of your comfort zone. You don't grow there, right? And so, again, just your average guy. Thank you for tuning in. This is John McDowell. Blessings.